Okay, let's go on. Now, there was one question that I didn't ask you relative to that first one, and that was, what would that lesion have looked like grossly? Looking at the jugular, what would it have looked like grossly? Well, first of all, since it's a thrombus, what would have to have been the case? It would have been attached to the endothelial surface. What about the color? Would it be real shiny and glistening, or would it probably be dull? Dull. Okay. And in this case, it pretty much so completely filled the vessel. So that's what you would say. You said, what did it look like? That's what it would look like. Plus, you did see a lot of congestion around in the advent tissue, and there was actually some hemorrhage too in the muscle around it. So that would have been that as well. You would have seen some red discoloration of the muscle, and also the advent tissue would have been a lot redder than usual.
Let me ask a question. You saw a bunch of small blood vessels in there, didn't you? What could be one cause of that? If you block blood vessel, what will the vascular system try to do? Anastomose around it. So you'll get smaller blood vessels trying to go around it. Is it going to be very effective usually?
What do you call that, anyway? Remember the term you saw in you should have been election, those collateral circulation? Okay, so here's a next case. This is a dog.
Okay, we have a 6-year-old intact male coonhound was submitted to your small animal hospital. The owner's major complaint was that Old Blue can't tree a coon like he used to. He seems to run out of steam. That sounds familiar. Also, the owner complains that he's keeping the family awake at night by his coughing fits. What else should you ask the owner? Okay, so any for parasites, period, right? And anything else? Vaccination history. Also, would his diet probably be important, and whether or not he's eating or anything like that? Okay. The results of your physical examination are listed on the following page. Okay, heart rate 100 beats per minute. What about that? Low, normal, high?
Okay, you have a coonhound, which is a larger breed of dog. So, what? That's fast. Now, it's not a real down and tachycardia, but it's just faster than normal. They should be around 80, 90 in there. And a little dog, would be 100. All right.
Capillary refill time was equal to or slightly greater than 3 seconds. What about that? Slightly prolonged, okay. Had a grade 4 out of 6 systolic murmurs on the right thoracic wall in the 5th and 6th intercostal space, and on the left thoracic wall in the 3rd intercostal space.
So what do you hear? What does that do to you? What valves are associated? Look at the diagram. On the right side is due to what? Tricuspid, and on the left is due to what? Pulmonary. And why did that probably happen?
In other words, give the most likely pathogenesis of the murmurs.
Well, you worried about heartworm prevention. If he had heartworm, what could that do? Especially if he had a pretty severe low right side heart failure. Well, right side heart failure. Now, how would the heart respond to that? Hypertrophy. And what is that going to do to the annulus fibrosus?
It's going to
stretch it. Okay. Now, what about the tricuspid valve? Is it now going to seat properly? No. So during ventricular ejection, you get regurgitant murmur. That's a systolic murmur back through the tricuspid valve. Now, what about on the pulmonary side? What happened there? What are these worms reside in the greatest number? In the pulmonary artery. And as the blood is going past that, it creates an obstruction and turbulence. And they are through the valve in the pulmonary artery and sticking down into the right ventricle. So that's going to give you a stenotic kind of murmur that happens when the ventricle is ejected. Again, that's a systolic murmur. So you can hear them on both sides. Yeah.
So I know the point like indicates the direction that the murmur came from, but what side does it have a predisposition? What side it will happen?
Well, the right, because we suspect he may have heartworms. And if you hearing that, then that will tell you, yeah, probably that. Now suppose I heard mitral, I'm looking at the 4th and 5th intercostal space on the left side, which is a mitral one, or the 4th one on the left side, which is probably aortic. Now, if I heard those two, what would I think? Well, there could be a thrombus on the valve. There could be some congenital malformation on the valve. Something like that would lead you to looking at that, but not so much so heartworms. Now, if this animal were a little dog, he could have what we call mitral valvular fibrosis, and that would affect mostly the mitral valve and the aortic valve, but it can also affect the tricuspid and the pulmonary. So you might hear murmurs all over the place with that as a result of both sides of the heart being involved almost equally. But in that case, it's probably still more left than it would be right, because it's more common to involve the mitral valve and/or / aortic valve than it is to involve the ones on the right side.
Now, y'all remember on your endocrinology blackboards, you've got the cardiology folders on there? You can, if you want to hear what those murmurs sound like, you can go into those PowerPoints and click on the websites and it'll give you the sounds. Okay? All right, so.
By the way, you see that internet reference up there? When you download these things and go over them, what are you supposed to do? Go to that and look and see what it says. You know.
Okay, the other physical finding was severe jaundice. What's jaundice? Yellow discoloration because of what? Bilirubin, okay? So, and the blood also failed to clot subsequent to a venipuncture. But what are the three causes of jaundice?
Three classifications: pre, post, and what? And intrahepatic.
So it's pre-hepatic, what's causing that? Increased red blood cell breakdown. Because there's a threshold for bilirubin to be taken up by the liver, right? And you've got more coming to it, it's going to stay in the blood longer, right? What would be caused, what would you see with intrahepatic? You're going to have a little bit of a decrease in the ability to take up the bilirubin, so the unconjugated will be increased. You will be conjugating it, but it will be leaking out into the vessels because the liver tissue is damaged. So you have usually about equal volumes of unconjugated and conjugated. What do you mean about unconjugated? That's what it's come from the macrophages. It's fat soluble, so it has to have transport protein, usually that's albumin. When it gets to the liver, what's it mean by conjugation? What's the liver doing to it? Making water soluble, so you get rid of it where? Get out to the bile. That's something normally leaks back into the blood. Dog has a low renal threshold for conjugated bilirubin, other species do not. So you should not normally see bilirubin in the urine of a species other than the dog. It should only be traced in the dog. Now what's post-hepatic mean? Okay, yeah, and there should be a intravalvular, extravalvular, it could be all types of post-hepatic. What about swollen hepatocytes? Does that do it? And so what's going to be the major bilirubin in the blood of that? Conjugated. Now, unconjugated will be also elevated, but not anywhere near the conjugated. I'm not talking about dogs. The difference will find out next time. There's a difference far down. But anyway. Okay, so what could be causing this prolonged bleeding? It could be problems with platelet numbers. It could be possibly problems with some coag factors. Now, it's not. If we would say that, if it is a venipuncture, it bleeds while it stops. What's that most likely to do? Platelet disorder. Platelet numbers, or what about von Wilkes disease? That type of thing. If it bleeds and then it keeps bleeding, or it bleeds, spots and starts bleeding again, what does that tell you most likely? Sometimes it's like okay? Now, let's look at our clin path results. See if we can see anything in there. Can y'all hear me all right in here? Yeah. You got grandchildren, you have to be able to raise your voice. All right, here's the CBC. Let me see enough hemogram. Hemogram is the red blood cell. Leukogram is the white blood cell. What's hemo mean? Blood red. Leuko? White. Okay. So, anything in here? What about that level of PCB? That's low normal. Now, could the animal be a little dehydrated, so it could actually be maybe a little bit of anemia in it, but you're not anything severe to it. So if it's not bad, would you expect there to be any regeneration or anything like that? So everything's normal. What about platelets? Now, got me worried a little bit talking platelets though. What do platelets do as soon as you take the blood sample? They clump and they lyse. So what happens to you? Well, you lose up to 50% of your platelets within 3 minutes. So, you know, it could be that. But if it's showing, what do you have potential hemorrhages on his gum? Then it is a low thrombocyte fluid. But right now, we don't see that. And in fact, that he's, having a little bit of problems with the venipuncture. Could be his weakened condition. Could also possibly be liver problems. about glucagram? Do we have inflammation? We have a regenerative left shift, don't we? Do we have stress? What's not cooperating with stress? Yeah, eosinophilia. That means we don't have stress. That means he has a problem that causes eosinophils to be sky high. Now, what's one of the conditions that can cause an eosinophil?
Parasites.
Heartworms. You get parasites. Heartworms. Okay? So, you know, because it may have been higher than that, but as it's stress, it may be a little bit more. But the monocytes. Monocytes in the dog part of the stress triad, quadrant? Yes, they are, but also, could there be some chronic damage going on? Will that cause an increase in monocytes or macrophages and stuff? That's the definition of thing. We know he is stressed and he has a inflammatory process, right? And what else we insert that he has an inflammatory process?
The fibrinogen.
Fibrinogen stuff. Any further questions on that part? Yes, sir.
So if he was trying to, say he was at home, he was trying to compensate the clock, right? So if he was trying to clock, but he's consuming all this glucose, would fibrinogen still be up because it's part of that whole fibrinogen, the fibrin?
Yeah, it can be up a little bit higher because the fibrinogen is going to try. This is an acute phase reaction, and it keeps trying. It could still be up a little bit. What species will you get the highest fibrinogen response from? The knicker. And day and knicker. The horse. The horse has a higher level of fibrinogen. Normally, and that's a bigger response. Okay, let's look at the next thing. All right, anything wrong with the clinical chemistry? Why total protein low? What's total protein made up of? What's the difference between total protein and total solids? Total solids is measured on plasma. With albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, and other coagulated proteins. When you have a serum chemistry, what does it mean serum? What have you done to your blood? Plasma. So what happens to the fibrinogen and the coagulated proteins? They're gone. So what is total protein then? Albumin and globulin. So why is it low here? It's too low due to the albumin in it. Now, the liver will, where does the albumin come from in the blood? The liver. Now, if this globulin, what do you think globulin going up for? We have some immune processes going on here. Can the liver control that? So, if you keep your albumin high and your globulin keeps coming up, let's say this is the viscosity of blood. That cause problems. So what will the liver try to do to help out? Selective depression, but not to this degree because our total proteins are not elevated. So what can cause low blood albumin levels? Three things.
Liver problems.
You can have liver insufficiency, protein losing nephropathy, protein losing enteropathy. Enteropathy, you lose both albumin and globulin. Nephropathy, you generally just lose on albumin. Okay? So how do we rule out a nephropathy? Rule it in. We've got indications of liver problems, right? How would we reinforce a liver problem? Liver stuff, right? Okay? Oh, sharp down there. Why is AST, ALT, CK high? Break down the dry muscle and liver. Stress is not caused, the GDP is a stress-induced enzyme at this moment. So that causes you to get us to too high level of ALT. So that suggests we have both hepatocellular damage and muscle damage. And what muscle do you think we might be talking about? Heart. Okay? Now, alphonse is a elevated a little bit. Why do you think that is? Could be a little bit of stress. It could also be some problems as far as the liver. In other words, if the liver is damaged, can it excrete bile very readily? So what will the liver do to try to increase its bile excretion? What's the function of alpha? Membrane transport enzyme. It will cause an increase in the alpha component of the liver cell. Some leaks out. What's going to leak out? We got more. More. So it could be a little bit of that. It's not really that high. It's just not moderately elevated. So it could also be a little bit when you're over too stressed. Well, what about our BUN and creatinine? Are they high? Okay, they're pretty high, aren't they? Could there be dehydration doing it? Possible, but we have dehydration. Shouldn't our protein be up here? Plus we got to look at your analysis to see what we got, right? All right, well, why's our phosphorus high? What's the kidney do with, how's the kidney get rid of BUN and creatinine and phosphorus?